design an astable multivibrator using 555 timer IC for an output pulse of frequency 1 kilohertz and a duty cycle of 75%. Okay, I hope that you all know what do you mean by duty cycle. Anyways, even if you don't worry, we will see it ourselves in the with the output waveform. What is the duty cycle and how to measure it? Okay, so this was the pinout of 555 timer IC, correct? It is a 8 pin. Out of that, all the pins are used. None of the pins should be left open. Okay, so we will derive that not today. Today we will not be completing the derivation for the duty cycle or the time period, but we are using the formula. Let me increase the font size of the PDF. Okay, I think by now it is clear now. So solution, the duty cycle of an unstable multivibrator is given by this expression. Percentage D is given by RA plus RB upon RA plus twice RB into 100. Now you all might be wondering what is this RA RB? Okay, let me show you pinout and the pinout design circuit basically. So this is a symbolic representation of a 555 timer rather than drawing the functional block diagram, which is quite big again and again. We normally it is preferred this way. It is well understood that internal mechanics of the 555 timer you have understood. Okay, so this is my external components marked in red color, that is RA, RB and C1. You remember in the first lecture of 555 timer, I was reading out from the data book. There I have said, I have described, I've read out one line that with the help of two external resistors and one capacitor, we can make a oscillator circuit. So today also we are building an oscillator, but this won't be a sinusoidal oscillator. It will be either a square wave or a rectangular wave oscillator. Okay, so this circuit will generate basically we say that if it is a astable, so normally it means that it's a square wave, but in this special case we can have a rectangular wave also. Okay, with a different duty cycle. Okay, a square wave is the one with a 50% duty cycle. Anyways, today around 9 p.m. there will be a quiz based on these three lectures, lecture number 27, 28 and 29. So these terms are extremely important. Okay, so I am talking about these this RA, RB and C1. Just relax, don't worry about the circuit diagram. We will be by the end of today's lecture, you will be understanding this astable mode 555 timer IC working properly. Okay, so just have a leap of faith. RA, RB and RC, these are the external components. Okay, pin number 3 is my output, and pin number 5 and 1 we normally connect a 0.01 microfarad capacitor, and VCC is given as 5 volts. Let us come back to the design. Okay, so here is my design. Duty cycle is given by the formula again. It is given as duty cycle is 75%. So in terms of percentage, if you remove the percentage, it is 0.75 is equal to RA plus RB upon RA plus twice RB. So if you cross multiply and solve it algebraically, you will get RA as twice of RB. Okay. Now a 75% duty cycle means this. So remember the capital T, which is the total time period, is given by T high plus T low. In some textbooks, they call it as T high as T on and T low as T off. So they both are the same. So T high is same as T on and T low is same as T off. Okay. So capital T is given by 0.75 millisecond plus 0.25 millisecond. Actually, the frequency is how much? The frequency is given as 1 kilohertz. So what is the time period? Total time period is 1 millisecond. So what's the duty cycle? Duty cycle is given by the formula T on upon the on time period divided by the total time period. So the on time period is around 0.75 millisecond upon the total time period, which is 1 millisecond. Where did we get that? Frequency is given as 1 kilohertz, so time period will be 1 millisecond. Hence the percentage duty cycle will be 75%. Okay, so that's how we got this split up. If there is a 50% duty cycle, then what will change? Anyone? What will T on become for 50% duty cycle?
0.5.
Yes, yes. And for 25%?
0.25.
Correct. So accordingly, if this becomes 0.25, my T low will become 0.75 millisecond. That's what we mean. Okay. I guess you all have understood the meaning of duty cycle. Now we will use these relations. So also we have to derive this T low and T high. So T low is same as T on. Okay. So T low is equal to T on is equal to 0.693 RB into C1. Don't worry about this. We will be covering this derivation, but not today. On Monday we will cover this. Okay, so T low or T off is given by 0.25 millisecond, which you equate it to 0.693 into RB into C1. So here two unknowns are there, RB and C1. We can assume the value of C1 as 0.1 microfarad. So correspondingly, the value of RB will be 3.6 kilo ohm. So one of you can check out in the calculator. It will be close to 3.6 kilo ohm. So I'll give you 5 seconds. Please check this answer. Please check out whether the RB value is coming out to be close to 3.6 kilo ohms or no. One of you please verify. Okay, okay, very good, very good.
Yes.
And yeah, fine, thank you. So over here we have somewhere this RB RA is twice of RB. We have derived it earlier. So once we know the value of RB, the value of RA can be found out by twice of 3.6 kilo ohm. So RA will be 7.2 kilo ohms directly. Okay, so we got the value of external resistors RA, RB and C1. Now this is same as the previous one also. It is recommended by manufacturers that 0.01 microfarad capacitor to be connected between pin number 5 and 1. I told you no pin should be left unconnected. So pin number 5 and 1 you connect 0.01. This is done to bypass the noise or the ripple from the DC supply voltage. Okay, so this is the the capacitor 0.01. Normally in all the designs they connect this 0.01 microfarad capacitor. Okay, so this is my designed circuit. VCC is 5 volts, RA is 7.2, RB is 3.6, and C1 is 0.1 microfarad. And we measure the output at the pin number 3. Okay, so anyone knows why pin number 4 is connected to VCC? I mean, if you all have understood the monostable mode, then this will be very clear. What is pin number 4? Pin number 4 is the reset pin, active low reset pin. So whenever we apply a high, I mean a logic 1 to an active low pin, it will be deactivated, right? So if you connect your reset pin to ground, what will happen? If I connect my reset pin to ground, my output will become 0, irrespective of whatever my circuit is doing. Okay, so that's why normally if pin number 4 is not used, we connect it to VCC. So that's the reason. Okay, if you have an oral examination or something, this can be one of the questions. Okay, and pin number 1 is obviously ground. Now what we will do is I will simulate this as usual in LT-Spice and check the answers. By the way, this is your last experiment in your LICD. 555 timer. Anyone has completed it? Any one of the batches? Just for curiosity, I want to know. Or not started yet?
No, sir, not
And
certain.
okay. And I think you all will agree. All the circuits, every circuit we have studied so far, we have related to LT-Spice. And LT-Spice is an analog device. It's a giant company. It's a very authentic resource. So your simulations which you get with LT-Spice are very much accurate, and they are very much matching with the theory whatever you have studied. That's why it's very encouraging to verify each and everything you can verify with LT-Spice in this subject basically. 555 timer and 741 remaining ICs, whichever is available, you can verify. And we have followed a practice that every concept we learn we verify via LT-Spice. Now let me just familiarize this circuit diagram first. Anyone who invented 555 timer? Last lecture only I have discussed that. Anyone remembers the name? Okay, so he was a Swiss scientist, engineer Hans Kaminzing. So he was the one who implemented or invented this engineer come inventor. NE 555. He was working with Signetics as an engineer, and during that time he has invented this 555 timer IC. I have shown them videos also, two videos with sir explaining how his experience. Okay, fine. So as you can see, this both the diagrams are pretty much similar. This is actually arranged. This is in IC form, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Arrangement is fixed over here, and here we have shuffled the bits. Only that much difference is there. Rest everything is absolutely the same. Okay. So shall I maximize this? You have checked it out. Okay, fine. Okay, now RA is RA 7.2, RB 6.3, 3.6 kilo ohm, and C1 is 0.1 microfarad. Let me simulate this. Okay, so I will check my output. So I right click over here, I have labeled everything, V out, and I also want to measure voltage across the capacitor C1. Okay, so this is my voltage across the capacitor C1. So these are the waveforms which I am getting. Let me change it to green also, so that that is clearly visible. Okay, so these are my waveforms which I am getting, right? We will shortly see why we get this, the capacitor charging and discharging like this, and obviously we should have a 75% duty cycle. So anyone, I am expanding it over here. How to check 75% duty cycle? Actually, I am starting from here, let's say, and first of all, let me check the frequency. So I am checking the second this thing and placing it over here. Okay, over here I will adjust it properly. So I'm measuring basically one time period basically, right? So how much is this? Can anyone check? It's around 1.0023 kilohertz. So 1 kilohertz, it's fine. Now let's check the time period, the on time period. The on time period is when the capacitor charges. So how much is this? Anyone? Around, if I accurately measure, I'll expand it more. If I accurately measure, it's around 750.58 microseconds. So that is same as 0.75 milliseconds. Okay. How will I check my off time? Off time, I mean the T off. T off should be 0.25 milliseconds, right? So I will check it over here like this. So how much it is coming? 250.11 microsecond. That is same as 0.25 milliseconds. So here it is my off time and on time, and visually also we can see this on time is 3 times more than the, I mean if you consider this as total time period, let me expand it further. Yeah, this if you consider this total is T from this side to this side, and you can see this will be 1/3. This off time will be, this T off will be 1/3 of this. Okay, and this will be 1/4 of this, and this will be 3/4 of this. So T on will be 3/4 of the total period, and T off will be 1/4. As you can see easily, if this is 4 units, this will be 3 units, and this will be 1 unit. Anyone having any doubt in this waveforms? So perfectly, the duty cycle is 75%, and my time period, total time period is 1 millisecond. That means the frequency is 1 kilohertz. Anyone having any doubt in this? Ask now, or we can proceed ahead. So here we have already gone to a reflection spot, and the theoretical values of frequency was 1 kilohertz. We are getting around very close, 1.0059 kilohertz. Here the capacitor value is wrong actually. So capacitor value will be 2 places. So I will update it. So capacitor voltage will change from, let me show it to you. This maximum peak will be 2/3 of VCC. That is correct. But the lowest peak will be 1/3 VCC. Let me show it to you. First of all, let me check the duty cycle, 75%. So we are getting around nearby 74.9%. That is also very accurate. That will be, how do you calculate duty cycle? The off time divided, the on time divided by the total period. Okay, now let me check this. Now one of you have your calculator with you, right? So I'll keep this focused over here. Okay, now let me check this number. One of you please calculate 2/3 of 5. 2 into 10 divided by 3, how much it is? 3.33, right? One of you?
3.3.
Yeah. Yeah, so the capacitor peak value is 3.33. So this is 2/3 of VCC, we can say. And the lower value is 5 divided by 3. How much it is?
1.66.
Yes, yes, correct. So here we are getting the value as, if I accurately determine exactly to the center, we can see over here 1.66 volts. That means the capacitor is switching between 2/3 of VCC and 1/3 of VCC. Okay, so this point we will clear while we see the working. So the capacitor voltage is limited between 2/3 of VCC and 1/3 of VCC. Okay, so we'll see that shortly. Any doubts over here in this design? So this capacitor voltage, I will change it. This is only the positive peak value. The negative, I mean the lower peak value also has to be written over here. Okay, other than that, everything is fine. Any doubts over here, students? Is the design clear? So this is the way we can design this is the way we can design a stable multivibrator with a duty cycle greater than 50%. Now we can even design, a stable multivibrator with 50% duty cycle and less than 50% also. That we will see on the Monday's lecture. Today, just for introduction, I have shown this. So I think that's it for this lecture, that is 29A. Next, we will start with the working of the 555 timer IC. So let me stop the recording.